Have you ever felt like you're bending, adjusting, or changing just to fit into someone else's expectations? The truth is, the moment you start living for others, you lose sight of the person you were born to be. Today, we're going to talk about something powerful. Why you should never change yourself for anyone, no matter how much they pressure you, no matter how much they expect it, and no matter how lonely standing in your truth may feel. This isn't just another motivational speech. It's a wake-up call. It's about reclaiming your identity, embracing your authenticity, and walking boldly in the version of yourself that feels right inside. We live in a world where opinions are loud, judgment is constant, and approval is fleeting. But the real secret to freedom and success is simply stay true to who you are. By the end of this video, you'll see that the power to live fully, confidently, and unapologetically comes not from changing for others, but from embracing yourself completely. You'll learn why your value isn't measured by acceptance, why your path is yours alone, and why authenticity will always outweigh approval. So take a deep breath, focus your mind, and get ready to discover how stepping into your true self can change your life forever. Because once you stop changing for the world and start living for yourself, nothing can hold you back. Knowing your worth is the foundation of every great thing you will ever build in your life. It's the armor that protects you from opinions, criticism, and rejection. When you don't understand your value, you'll constantly look for someone else to tell you who you are. And that's where you lose control. People will try to label you, define you, and sometimes even limit you based on their own fears and insecurities. But the moment you recognize your own worth, their words lose power, their judgment loses weight, and their approval no longer determines your direction. Knowing your worth doesn't come from external achievements or validation. It comes from within. It's about standing in front of the mirror and saying, I am enough exactly as I am. It's about understanding that your flaws, your scars, and your struggles are part of what make you unique. Every mistake you've made taught you something valuable. Every failure you faced gave you strength. Your worth isn't measured by how perfect you are. It's measured by how real you are. The world will always have opinions, and people will always have something to say. But you can't live your life chasing validation from those who don't even see the full picture of your journey. When you know your worth, you stop begging for respect. You command it through your actions, your discipline, and your consistency. You stop trying to fit into places that were never meant for you. You start walking with confidence, not arrogance, but with quiet assurance that says, I know who I am and I don't need your approval to be that. Knowing your worth means setting boundaries. It means saying no when something doesn't align with your values, even if it costs you relationships or opportunities. Because nothing is worth losing yourself over. It's understanding that your time, energy, and peace are sacred. When you value yourself, you attract people and opportunities that match that energy. But if you constantly underestimate your worth, you'll accept less than you deserve. Life has a way of reflecting what you believe about yourself. When you believe you're worthy, the world starts to respond differently. Doors open. Respect follows. Peace replaces chaos. But it all begins when you finally decide that you don't need anyone else to define your value. You've known it all along. Authenticity is power. It's the rarest form of strength because it demands that you stand alone when everyone else is trying to blend in. The world teaches you from a young age to fit the mold, to act a certain way, talk a certain way, and chase things that make you look successful instead of things that make you feel fulfilled. But the truth is, the moment you start trading your authenticity for approval, you lose the most valuable thing you have, yourself. Being authentic means being real, even when it's uncomfortable, being honest, even when it's unpopular, and being consistent with who you are, whether people clap for you or not. Approval is temporary, but authenticity is timeless. When you live to please people, you become a reflection of their expectations, not your truth. You start making decisions not because they're right for you, but because they keep others happy. You start hiding parts of yourself, silencing your opinions and shrinking your dreams just to make others comfortable. But that kind of life is heavy. It drains your spirit because it's not built on honesty. Authenticity, on the other hand, may not always be accepted, but it will always set you free. It allows you to walk in peace because you're not pretending to be someone else. You're not changing with the crowd or molding yourself to fit in. You're walking in your truth, and that truth will always lead you to the right people and the right path. When you are authentic, you attract genuine connections, people who see your light, not your mask. You don't have to compete or prove your worth because your presence speaks for itself. Authenticity builds trust, and trust builds influence. It's the kind of energy that can't be faked or replicated. So many people are searching for happiness, not realizing that happiness comes from alignment, being aligned with your purpose, your values, and your truth. When you stop chasing approval and start living authentically, you no longer worry about who stays or who leaves, because the ones who matter will respect your truth. You'll find that peace comes naturally when you're no longer pretending. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. Your voice, your story, your truth are enough. And the moment you embrace that, you become unstoppable. Growth is one of the most beautiful parts of life, but too often people confuse growing with changing who they are to be accepted. True growth isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you were always meant to be. It's about refining your character, not replacing it. As you go through life, you'll face seasons that test you, break you, and reshape you. Those moments aren't meant to destroy your identity, they're meant to reveal it. Growth is about learning, healing, and evolving while keeping your integrity intact. The danger comes when people start to believe that in order to be successful, they have to become someone else. They think they need to hide their emotions, change their tone, or act like they don't care just to fit into rooms that were never built for them. But real growth doesn't require you to lose your essence. It teaches you to balance strength with humility, confidence with kindness, and ambition with gratitude. You can become better without betraying your roots. You can chase big dreams without forgetting where you came from. The goal is to level up without losing touch with your foundation. Growth should add layers to you, not erase the original version of who you are. There's power in remaining grounded while you evolve. The person you were 5 years ago may not be the same person today, and that's okay. That's proof of progress. But your values, your principles, the things that define your soul, those should never be compromised for validation. It's easy to let success change you, to let pain harden you, or to let rejection make you bitter. But growth means you rise above those traps. You learn from them without letting them shape you into someone unrecognizable. The world respects consistency. When people see you evolve but still carry the same honesty, kindness, and strength, they trust you more. Because growth that keeps its heart intact is rare. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep moving forward with purpose. Real growth is when you can look back and say, I've changed for the better, but I never lost myself. That's the kind of evolution that truly pays off in life. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's something you have to make peace with early on. The path that's designed for you wasn't built for anyone else to walk. It's personal, unique, and often lonely. People will judge you from the outside, but they'll never see the battles you fought on the inside. They'll see your results, not your struggles. They'll question your choices, not knowing the sacrifices behind them. When you start living in alignment with your purpose, when you decide to follow your own direction instead of the crowd, you will lose people. Some will distance themselves, some will criticize, and some will simply not understand why you've changed, but that's okay. Because your purpose isn't meant to be understood by everyone. The truth is, you don't need everyone's support or approval to reach where you're destined to go. Sometimes, silence and misunderstanding are signs that you're on the right track. Growth often isolates before it elevates. When you begin to think differently, your energy shifts, your priorities change, and suddenly the people who once related to you might not anymore. That's not a failure, that's evolution. You're not rejecting them, you're simply responding to a higher calling. Not everyone will clap for your progress because your growth may expose their stagnation. Some people liked you better when you were small, predictable, and safe. When you start to rise, you become a mirror that reflects their own fears and limitations. But your job is not to shrink to make others comfortable. Your job is to keep walking, even if it means walking alone. The road to purpose is rarely crowded because few people have the courage to walk it. It takes strength to trust your vision when no one else sees it, and faith to keep going when no one else believes in it. Don't waste energy explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Let your results speak for you. Let your peace prove your decisions were right. One day, the same people who questioned your journey will be the ones asking how you did it. Until then, keep walking your path, head held high, knowing that you're not lost, you're just on a road that was only ever meant for you. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of joy, confidence, and purpose. The moment you start looking at someone else's life and measuring it against your own, you begin to lose sight of your own blessings. It's human nature to notice what others are doing, but when you make it a habit to compare your path to theirs, you start to devalue everything you've worked for. You forget how far you've come because you're too busy focusing on how far someone else appears to be. The truth is, everyone's timeline is different. Some people reach success early, others take time to build their foundation. Some fight battles you can't see. Others smile through struggles you'll never know about. You might see their achievements, but you don't see their sacrifices. You might see their success, but you don't know the nights they cried, the failures they endured, or the pain they overcame to get there. Comparison creates false stories in your mind. It makes you believe that you're behind, that you're not doing enough, or that you're not good enough. But your worth is not tied to how fast you're moving compared to others. It's tied to your consistency, your effort, and your authenticity. When you stop comparing and start appreciating your own growth, you start to realize that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Every delay, every challenge, and every detour has a purpose. Life isn't a race, it's a journey, and your pace is perfectly designed for your process. Confidence comes when you focus on your lane. You can't run your race while looking sideways. That's how people stumble. The moment you shift your focus back to your own progress, you begin to find peace. You begin to see that what's meant for you will never miss you. No matter how long it takes, the key is to keep showing up even when no one is watching, even when it feels slow, because your story is unfolding exactly as it should. You don't need to be like anyone else. You just need to be better than the version of yourself from yesterday. When you stop comparing and start believing, you'll realize that you were never behind. You were always on time for your own destiny. Being the version of yourself that feels right inside is the ultimate form of freedom. It's about aligning your actions, your thoughts, and your energy with what feels true in your heart, not what others expect from you. So many people spend their entire lives performing for the world, wearing masks to please everyone around them, and hiding who they really are just to fit in. But deep down, they feel empty, disconnected, and restless because they're living someone else's version of happiness. When you choose to be the version of yourself that feels right inside, you stop performing and start living. You stop asking for permission to exist as you are. You start trusting your instincts more and doubting yourself less. The peace that comes from authenticity is unlike anything else. It's calm, grounded, and powerful. You wake up each day with clarity because you're no longer chasing an image. You're living in alignment with your truth. And the beautiful thing about living this way is that you attract what matches your energy. You begin to meet people who appreciate the real you, opportunities that resonate with your spirit, and experiences that make your soul feel alive. But getting to that point takes courage. It takes courage to say, "This is who I am," especially in a world that constantly tells you who you should be. It takes strength to walk away from environments that expect you to shrink or change just to be accepted. And it takes faith to believe that being yourself is enough, even when it feels like it's not. You will lose some people along the way, but you'll gain something far more valuable: self-respect. You'll look in the mirror and finally recognize the person staring back. You'll be proud of the choices you made, even if they cost you approval. The truth is, you can't live a peaceful life while trying to please everyone. The world will always have opinions, and no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. But when you live by what feels right inside, those opinions no longer control you. You start walking in purpose, moving with confidence, and carrying a sense of peace that can't be shaken. That's what real success feels like, being unapologetically, wholeheartedly yourself. Life becomes lighter, stronger, and more meaningful the moment you stop trying to be what others expect and start embracing who you truly are. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit in rooms that were never built for you. You don't have to wear masks to be accepted. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs the real you. The one who's been through storms but still stands tall. The one who's been doubted but keeps showing up. The one who's learning that peace is more valuable than popularity. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you take one step closer to your true purpose. And even though it might be a lonely road at times, remember, diamonds are formed in pressure, not comfort. Your truth, your values, your heart, they are your power. Protect, honor them, live by them. So keep your head up, keep walking in your truth. Don't change for the crowd. Let the crowd adjust to you. The right people will find you, the right doors will open, and the right energy will always flow toward you when you stay real. Believe in your path, even when others can't see it. Because when you live as your authentic self, you'll discover a kind of peace and strength that no one can take away from you. Good luck to you on your journey. May you never lose sight of who you are, even when life tests you. And thank you for listening. Stay true, stay grounded, and always remember you were born to be real, not to be perfect. Keep shining your light, because the world needs exactly what only you can give.